party to the Heroes era, and I want to say that we really appreciate everybody who's followed us so far. And we'll just begin with a brief introduction here. The heroes are deep below the earth, beneath the mountain of Dalrin Caillou. They're journeying to Dunlop's Tavern, the last frontier in the war against the giants. Vincent carries an item of ancient power, a Chaos Stone, powerful enough to secure the region. The heroes have defeated the evil wizard Orgood. Silverado has rescued his friend Kingston. Eric has avenged the death of Xander. And now the heroes are fleeing before word of their deeds spreads throughout the city. And we'll introduce the heroes here. We have Vincent.
Hi, my name's Chris, playing Vincent, Polynesian Warlock. Cool guy. I got nothing.
And Silverado.
My name's Bodhi. I'm playing Silverado, a wood elf monk, working alcoholic. Very sad man. Got his friends back and is now fleeing, now running.
And Eric.
You're muted.
I don't know. You're still muted, my friend. We're having some mic issues with Eric.
Gosh. Okay.
Hey, there you are. I can hear you.
Sorry. Hey, I'm Jason. I'm playing Eric, fighter, cleric, human, on a mission to restore the balance of Gira and just see the world.
Very nice. Very nice. And again, last session, you all had rescued Kingston, who is Silverado's warg puppy, and he had been locked in the dungeon of Orga the Perfectionist. So now you've rescued the warg pup, and you've had vengeance for Xander as well, in killing Orgood. You all are fleeing the wizard's mansion. There's actually a large party taking place, and you all had done this very stealthily, sneaking in through the ceilings and whatnot. Any details that you guys want to add?
Yeah, we killed after sneaking in through the roof or a chimney. We encountered a Dwargar couple who were sleeping in a bed that was full of blood for whatever creepy reason.
They were trying to poison us, though. They were going to try and kill us. So we did them a solid.
Right. To be fair, Rollo found them sleeping, and then by the time you guys got eyes on them, they were not asleep.
Yeah, and we killed them. I stole a nice suit and dress from them, and we went on our way towards the caverns, where a battle took place with a Minotaur.
This is the same cavern where Xander had fallen.
Yeah.
Same cells. And so you guys defeated the Minotaur watchman there.
Saved Kingston. I talked to him with my ring. Then we went out the way we come. A little convincing with Kingston because he was very unsure of what was happening. And made him look like a dog and met up with the others. And after a brief talking to the bartender from the Perfect Pint, we all gathered together and started making our escape.
Right. Did you leave some information with the bartender? I think he was relishing in the fact that you had defeated Orgood.
Yeah.
His brother had been a Minotaur, if I recall.
I figured it was a nice thing to do. He gave me some good whiskey.
I believe while we were away, Brother Joffrey was kind of making some arrangements for us to blend in with a caravan or a trade group that was leaving.
Right,
for
that was the idea.
Deadlop's Tavern.
Yeah, so we'll just pick up on the way back to the Temple of Therazessa, where you were made welcome by Joffrey. But first, Vincent, Rollo approaches you. He says, hey, was looking around in there and found a few things. Thought you might be interested. And this can be as you all are kind of like walking down the street. Vincent, I'm not sure, you might be muted. And
I don't think he is.
Oh, okay. Might be having a little bit of lag issues on my end. But he says, yeah, I found a couple things here. I went to check out that room you told me about. And he hands to you a scroll case. And then he also says that I found this leaning against the desk, It's really weird. It's empty, but I think it's magical. And it's like a backpack with several side satchels.
Quick detect magic. Is it magic?
It is indeed.
Okay.
Well, cool. Essential tool for any party.
You may have heard of this before. It's a handy haversack. Probably more than you've been able to afford in the past. But Rollo found one within the wizard's mansion.
Wow. Very cool.
Great.
Theft is cool.
Okay, and this is while we're on the way. We're walking to the temple.
Yeah, you guys actually have a couple of carts that were sent with you from the temple. They sent a couple of runners, so you guys have transport there. You should make it back in 2 hours or less.
Okay. Can I take the sack? I want to turn it inside out. I want to see if there was anything else in it.
Seems to be empty. I'm not sure if something strange happens when you turn a handy haversack inside out.
If it works like a bag of holding, with a bag of holding, when you turn it inside out, anything that's in it comes in, like empties the bag, basically.
Okay. So actually a couple of very small gemstones fall out of it.
Okay.
A small jade and a ruby.
Okay.
If you guys want, I can make necklaces out of that.
Yeah, okay. I'll give them to Silverado.
All right, a jade and a ruby, you said? Like
Yes.
a small one? All right.
They look to be
can I-
worth a few gold each.
Can I look in the spell scroll and see what's in there?
Yes.
Is there any type of symbol you guys would want on your necklaces?
Nah. Whatever you want to do with it.
Okay. And what about you, Eric? You want anything special for yours?
You're making us necklaces?
Yeah, I'm out of the small ruby and small jade gems that came out of the haversack. I have a jeweler's kit, so I can do it.
Can you see?
The anchor.
Yeah, shoot.
Okay, so to recreate his anchor, I take the
Yeah.
You want ruby or you want jade?
Jade.
I take the jade and I imagine I don't know what the jade looks like, but I put it at the top focal point of the anchor, and I use the amethyst fragments that were given to me from Dethida that she handed me, like a bag of them, and I kind of piecemeal it together like a piece of like chainmail, and I imagine some tools allow me to like make it like put a needle through it so I can put thread through it and like sew it all together, and I make the rest of the anchor out of the amethyst fragments, and then I hand it to Eric after however long that takes.
You do have some surgical tools.
I do.
That might not be the kind of thing you can do as we're walking back from the...
I imagine we're in carts, right? So I can just be in the back of the
I see.
cart doing it.
And you have a few hours, like you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So the note says, "My cousin, we will be masters of this mountain, you below and I above. I would call upon your knowledge and power. I have found one of those most precious stones of ancient lore, but I cannot obtain it. Just before the Titan's fury I found it, deep within my mine. Now the mine is flooded, but I hear the stone there, the chaos song calling me. I must get to it before anybody else hears. Forgive my layman's terms, but you know I am a simple dwarf. I will acquire a special hammer. I would like the one who holds this hammer to also be able to hold their breath for as long a time as can be granted. And I would like the rocks to break easily beneath the armor, even for them to explode. I think that you can manage that, but I would also like for the wielder of the hammer to command it with the most delicate touch, that a precious stone may be almost pulled from the earth. Just do your best, cousin. It doesn't need to be perfect. I have already crafted a fine hammer for the occasion. You will find it inside with another gift. As always, I am in your debt.
Okay. Is it just the three of us in the cart?
And Thragnown.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Deathida, right? Deathida came. Forgive me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thragnown is back at the temple. He was convinced to stay back despite his concerns over you leaving Vincent. But Deathida did help to distract some civilians and whatnot. So she is nearby as well.
Okay, but it's just the four of us.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Hey, guys. Remember how we thought we might piss somebody off by killing Orgood?
Yeah?
I think I found somebody that might be pissed off about it.
Mm.
And I'll read them the note.
Any initials or a name of some sort? Or just an anonymous letter that we can't...
It said his cousin, right? Mind you, that could just be a derogatory, or like a pet name.
Well, they're Dragar, right? Dwarves have like tons of cousins, don't they?
That's true.
So even so, it might be hard to track down who this is.
Right. So hopefully word doesn't travel too fast.
And do you all remember who crafted the hammer?
Yeah, it was
Dunlop.
Dunlop with the mark of the bronze pantheon.
So it sounds like maybe we're heading into the lion's den. Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're hearing?
That seems to be the case. Is there any like anything on the scroll, like a seal or anything like that? Some sort of something that would, like the Shield of Dunlop or something like that on it?
Yes, yeah. Dunlop signs his name with 2 Ds as though they're the heads of, 2 hammers crossing. And that is a seal that was broken on this scroll case.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Wow. I'll, maybe...
What are we piecing together here, gentlemen? Just to spell it out for me, what dots are being connected, or what are you guys thinking is happening?
I'm thinking I don't want to go to Dunlop's Tavern anymore.
Yeah. Because we knew the hammer was from him. We didn't know the reason why or anything like that, because we said like he might not know that what he's doing, it might just be a commission, but he specifically stated like, hey, I found one of these cool stones and I want you to make a hammer that can...
Yeah.
We need to... I don't know if we had this conversation already or not, but we do need to clarify something. Has anyone told Eric? And I'm asking DM question here. Has anybody told Eric?
Oh no, we haven't.
No.
That we have okay. Because we were talking about it end of the last session before. Okay. So.
Well, I mean, in light of your letter, though, it sounds like maybe we need to talk to Joffrey about. I don't know. Not going. I don't know. I don't really want to go to Dunlop's Tavern anymore. Do you guys?
Well,
that's kind of
I don't know, because here's something, Eric. That, to be fair, you're traveling with us. You should know what's going on. So, in full disclosure, I'm going to ask you, and I know this is a lot to ask from someone who you've just met, but I'm going to ask you to kindly maybe not mention this at the temple just yet.
Okay.
Until we can find out exactly what's going on. Okay. And I have nothing to offer you to do that except for just asking you to trust me.
Okay.
Okay.
I can give you a lead. Yeah, I can give you some.
I'll reach in my bag and
I can give you a bit of leash, sure.
Okay. I appreciate that. And I'll reach in my bag and I'll pull out the chaos stone. And before I pull it out, I'll look out and like, do not look directly at this. Just trust me.
Just
Okay.
tell him instead of like bringing it out. Because if you
And
bring it out, his eyes are just gonna go
Don't
right
look at
to it.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, don't look at this
That's
thing I'm
right.
pulling out.
I was trying to pull it out, and as I'm saying that, I'm like, well, hang on. You know what?
I'm gonna show you something, but don't look at it, okay?
I'm gonna leave that in the bag.
Peripheral vision. Only that.
The
I
stone
carry
is
one- I carry one of
warm
the stones.
in your hand, Vincent, as you pull it out of the sack.
I carry one of the stones. It was entrusted to me by
That it was.
Thragnow? No.
Yes, by Thragnow.
Yeah. It was entrusted to me by Thragnow. With the promise that I would get it to Dunlop's Tavern, interestingly enough.
Did we ever know how they got this? Did they ever tell us?
They said it was a relic, basically.
Hmm.
They
They didn't even know for sure what it was, or at least Thragnow didn't.
Well, okay, so we're pretty confident that Orgood was up to no good, right?
He was turning people into
Yeah.
giant.
Yeah,
Turning
anybody
into-
that turns people into Minotaurs,
Turning into
that's a
Minotaurs,
bad-
yeah. Another torture and stuff that we saw when we were
Kind
in
of a
there.
red flag.
We saw some crazy
Yeah.
torture chambers and stuff, Vincent,
Yeah.
when we were down
I
below.
saw
Yeah,
some
I mean,
stuff.
honestly, he could have been running a homeless shelter outside of that. He's still,
Well, up front, but
yeah,
tell your recruits.
exactly.
Well,
So Thragnown wants us to deliver it to Dunlop. Dunlop is working with Orgood, it seems, from this letter.
And it sounds like Orgood, he had charged Orgood with obtaining one of these stones that we're now talking about just dropping off.
Yeah.
so
Is Thragnown a pawn as well? Like he doesn't really know what's going on?
I feel like he is, as Deathidus like right in the cart.
Deathidus says, "We knew we had an item of great power, but the lore of the Chaos Stones is not something we are well studied on.
How did you come across this? Did you?
It was given to Thragnown by Strustrum Lydiana and Dunlop. I'm sure he said that when he gave it to you.
He did.
What do you know about Dunlop, Deathida?
Dunlop is a powerful dwarf. He is also a great smith. She says, he forsake his name, or rather the name of Dunsmere long ago, and has created his own name.
Just to clarify, you were given this stone by Dunlop or someone related to Dunlop, like close family,
Dunlop and Strustrum.
and then you took it and you brought it down to the farm, and then you found us, and then Thragnown gave us the stone, and then we went back up the road.
Well, yes, we brought the stone to the farm so that it would be blessed by the cleric of Therazessa. Mrs. Hawkins? I'm
Mrs.
sure
Hawkins.
you met her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She
All
is
right.
a very powerful cleric, the most powerful in this region.
So
Can I make like a? I mean, I'm pretty low level in my cleric, but would I be able to sense that there's like Therazessa's touch has been on it? Maybe Arcana or something. Would let me try and?
Yes.
I mean, let's see what happens. I know. I'm still learning these things.
So I'm trying to piece this together right now.
What did I roll? I rolled 11 for my Arcana, which is probably not really very good.
You do detect that it has been blessed by Mrs. Hawkins, or a powerful cleric of Therazessa.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. So this is where things get confusing for me. Because, fair enough, Ragnown, Bethida, and the others were given the stone. Bring it down to the farm, get it blessed. Good
Yes,
so
Thragnown
far.
and Humnalda are powerful warriors.
And then you were to bring it back, as just like a to and fro mission. And you found us. But the letter tells us that the hammer was created by Dunlop, and that Dunlop, knowing, because in the letter it says that, like, I found a Chaos Stone, I want you to make this hammer.
Yes, it does, yes.
So Dunlop and Orgood are working together, because clearly they went through with the deal, and because we have the hammer here.
It seems that way, and it seems almost as his note speaks of a different stone.
Maybe Dunlop wanted another one. Is there like a finite number of these? Do we know?
I assume.
Or does anyone know how many of these there are? Or is it just something that exists?
They are usually found within mines or deep within the earth. They're thought to be the essence of the fallen primordial entity Girabolsh Grossa. So they're basically shards of its being, perhaps, whatever you would want to equate that to.
Right. Okay.
And forgive me, remind me, in the letter it says I have acquired one of these stones, and I is Orgood.
The letter says that he knows the location of one,
he senses one,
and that one was flooded when the river was lifted out of the land. And so now
that's the need of the
require
hammer.
a special magical tool, a magical hammer to access it.
Like a hammer that helps you breathe underwater.
My concern is that Orgood was clearly a bad guy with all the magic that he was doing. Clearly, no question. But it seems as if, though, that even though he's a bad guy, Dunlop knowingly works for him. So was Dunlop trying to get another stone other than the one he already knew of? He was trying to get the stone of the one that was in the flooded river. But Orgood would want the stone too. Or we just don't know his intentions for the stone. We just assume that it was just bad because he was a bad guy. Did we do something bad?
I don't know. It sounds more like they're doing something bad. But it is hard to say. This is all very confusing to me. I have grown to know and trust Dunlop to be a key figure in the community.
So Dunlop knows the stone that we have. But he was also contacted by Orgood to make a hammer.
And I'm sorry, I just want to interject here as well. Eric, when you were using your magic to examine the stone, you do recall, I don't think that you looked at it, or you would have said that, but you do recall that clerics have a more built-in natural defense against being drawn into the Chaos Stone, which is explained to you by Joffrey. But of course, if you look into it, you might still be drawn into it. So it'd be a risky endeavor. But when you are analyzing it, you recognize another power within the stone that is conflicting with that of Therazessa as well.
So that snake guy?
It's hard to say. The essence of Rispatung would probably be as easy to recognize as that of Therazessa, so I would say no.
I'd say no. Rispatung, right. So there's some other entity, maybe not a deity, or maybe not like another, the touch of another god, but maybe something else entirely.
Right, you essentially sense like another form of energy struggling against Therazessa, or whatever power of Therazessa has been imbued within that stone. I'm sorry, what's up?
So we have a stone with Therazessa's energy on par with Miss Hopkins, which is conflicting with another unknown power of the same level, which means that somehow from getting from Dunlop's Tavern to the farm, where we are now has come in contact with another thing of some sort, and we don't know what. And as I'm saying this, I'm like, I'm talking as if like I don't know what it could be, but I'm also like looking, like I'm looking around, but I'm also like keeping my eyes on Vincent for a couple of seconds and like moving away, and just making it seem like that's how I'm talking.
I'm sorry, what do you mean, just to be a little less cryptic?
I'm trying to look at Vincent while not letting Eric know that like I might know what this power is, or Vincent might know what this power is, or that Vincent may be the cause. I'm trying to tell Vincent in front of Eric that he might be the power that's in the stone. Him and whatever he has.
Well, listen, guys, this is what I think. Everything's insane right now. I don't know who we're supposed to trust.
I mean, we know the whole world's getting turned upside down, right?
Yep.
Everything is out of balance. Yeah,
everything's chaos. But stone was blessed by a god, so that's like makes it good by like default, right?
Yeah,
the cleric of a good god, Mrs. Hawkins. It was blessed directly by Mrs. Hawkins.
Yeah. It was blessed by Mrs. Hawkins.
Like
I trust her. I like her.
Yeah, she's very powerful.
So, and Dunlop requested her blessing on it, right?
Yeah, most powerful cleric around.
So, if he were up to something bad, he wouldn't want like a good blessing on this
he wouldn't have let the stone out in the first place. If he didn't have reason to, he would have just kept it.
I think we should stick to the original plan and take it to Dunlop. I think Dunlop.
Yeah.
And as you all are having this conversation, it has lasted for some time, recounting the different lore and your different knowledges of the situation being employed. And so you're getting very near to the Temple of Therizessa. Does anybody have anything that they would want to have happen before you arrive there?
Just as we pull up, I'm just going to look back over to Eric again and just like, please, remember, trust me.
Right. We don't, we're not talking about this letter. Was that the deal? I forget.
We can talk about the letter. I just don't want them to know that I have one of these stones yet.
And he's not possessing.
Until we know who we can trust. We can tell them everything else about it.
Cool.
In fact, I think we should. But
okay.
Jopari greets you as you enter the temple. Oh, my friends, I am so glad that you have returned, and you all look very good. Silverado a shade paler.
I didn't get knocked down, actually, which is surprising. I sprained my wrist a little bit when I jumped off the roof.
Being in such
he's
close
a little
proximity
iron
to
deficiency.
death.
Yeah, I don't get enough meat.
Perhaps you've been under the earth for too long now. I long for the sun myself.
I am a wood elf. That makes sense.
Well, yes, as I told you, Eric, we have some people leaving the city. Some from the Temple of Brahms who stayed with us, and they are just about to leave. I was going to ask you, would you mind chaperoning this group until they reach the city of Second Silver? And so what I have planned for you, he walks you out into a courtyard behind the temple. We transport a lot of books, for the libraries, of course, and then we have all these old clothes that we're taking up there. Now, down low is all flooded, but on your way up to Dunlop's Tavern, you'll pass many cities. Have you been this far below the earth on many occasions, Eric?
No, this is my first time anywhere near here.
Yes. Well, Dalrin Caillou was created long ago, a joint effort between Brahms and Therizessa. And so they created a vast tunnel that leads to the surface, but it goes to the very peak of the mountain where the first mine started. And as you leave the city, you will find other communities, and they need our help. But in addition to that, it is time for us to leave this city. You know that it is ruled by Romwar, the fire giant.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought that we could deal with him for some time, but lately with him destroying the Temple of Brahms, we had decided that it would be best for us to leave and go to, darker but cleaner caveways. Is there like a parallel for greener pastures when you're in the Underdark? Anyway, sorry. So he says, yes, so the only problem is right now Ramwa is being quite strict with who comes in and out of the city. You remember that he took account of all your goods, so we have many that would like to leave who would not otherwise be allowed, and so we have this wagon of goods and another one, and in the wagon of goods, he pulls back a burlap covering, and there are a couple of families therein. He says, and under the other, we have some stout young men who are devotees of Brahms. Like I said, they're going to Second Silver. It is no more than a day from the exit of the city.
Love it.
He says, I think that you, a cleric of Therazessa, should have no problem passing through the security. So I would ask that you could lead this. I must stay here. I was expecting relief, and I was planning to lead this group myself, but as you know, the temple must always be in the hands of a cleric.
For sure. How would I get my friends by though? That would be the only kicker.
Well, there is room in the wagon, or
Okay.
if they can pass for one of your friends, but I don't know. I can work them up some papers that says they're on official business, but they are being very strict right now. I think that with you being an actual cleric of the mother, you should have no problem passing. It is my suggestion the other two hide, but if it is above their pride, or below their pride, I should say, then we can work them up some kind of paperwork that seems official.
Or what if we were to give them some nice robes and they could pass off as students of mine?
I'm happy to try that, and they will need a bill of goods for what they came with and left with. We already have some made up here for the wagons. And he hands you a scroll of that just lists many books and different clothing items, small pieces of furniture.
Well, I turn to these two guys and say,
Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
no problem.
So I understand this is a dangerous undertaking, and I do wish to pay you. We have plenty of coin for you for this effort.
That'd be much appreciated. Just for us to, sometimes getting safe passage in these parts can be a little bit more costly than expected, if you know what I mean. When you're trying to get by guards that maybe don't make as much money as they might like.
Yes, well, I have for you 800 gold, and then also they will probably try to charge you a 50% tax, so I've included an additional 400.
Wow.
He says, I would be willing to part with 400 when you see the guards, but that is up to you, of course. Silverado, did you get the chance to try out that glove?
Yeah, I punched him real good.
That is good to hear.
I kicked him some. I twisted his ankle a bit. I gave him a noogie.
Well, did the magic of the glove come through your hand, or did you not realize it yet?
That was my soul. Nah, it was the glove.
Interesting. Well, it seems to suit you well.
I know.
Glad to see that.
Well, I'm fine with being smuggled through a checkpoint.
Okay. And how about you, Vincent? How do you feel about being smuggled into the city?
Or out of the city.
I can just turn invisible. Will that work?
It might. Would it?
How long do you got that for?
I think an hour. Once I do it.
You would have to do it when we're getting close.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I'm gonna set up shop with the disciples of the bronze guys, because I think the families would like to see a pale dwarf, or not pale dwarf, a pale elf with them.
And
when is it going to set out? Sorry, I was going to say, when does this caravan setting out? Because I know we still haven't really rested.
We're leaving right away, and
Okay.
you should be out of the city within an hour or two, and then it's nearly a day's journey to Second Silver, excuse me. So I suggest you rest along the way there.
Cool. Is that feasible for us to get a good rest in the caravan along the way?
Oh, I think you could be able to get some rest. You look quite tired. He says, I don't imagine that all of these young men will want to stay cooped up for so long, so I'll imagine that they'll make plenty of room for you in the other cart. He mentions that also that the goods that are traveling with these families and these young men are also destined for Second Silver. He says when you get to the fork in the road, essentially, then you can part with them and see them on their way.
From Second Silver, do we know how to get to Dunlop's from there?
Says this is a long, beautiful tunnel, a great work of art, one of the finest amongst the 5 peaks in the region. You will walk up a tunnel crafted for the likes of giants and dragons. So it is quite a march, and it is uphill the whole way. Of course, the way down on the river is much easier. But yes, you will walk for perhaps several days.
Okay.
And this may seem strange because you'll recall that coming into here, the trek through the river seemed brief. So you can probably, surmise that there's some kind of magic at play there, something like that.
Wow. And should we expect any holdups or roadblocks, or what sort of creatures like to patrol these roadways? Is there anything we should particularly prepare for?
Well, when you leave the city, the law ends, and then there's the law of might. So it should be nothing that you cannot contend with. Most very powerful beings are a bit deeper, and Ramwa keeps a strong watch on this area. Although there have been bands of roving bandits being reported throughout the tunnels. As you know, the lower cities have been flooded closer to the river, so many of the eastern cities are now traveling to the cities that are higher up.
I see. Well, that sounds good to me. I don't know, Vincent, I'm not sure if you'd stepped away, but they're going to give us 800 gold for this trek, along with 400 gold to cover the tax.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, yes, Master Vincent, I did have the students prepare this for you. And I'm going to put some text here in the Discord. The students have prepared for you a book or a scroll of sorts that has several stories and some information on it. So I'm going to just post it in several posts here. The first post is a post of general information.
Is this the scroll that outlining the history of the Chaos Stones?
Yes, it is. Yeah, the one that
Nice.
Brother Joffrey had prepared for, or had the students copy for Vincent. You'll recall when you were leaving, it was about halfway done, and he said that when you come back, he can give you the full document.
Yeah, he said he'd have it ready.
So you
So,
don't have
thank
to
you-
read
thank
through all
you.
this right now, but
So much for putting all that work in.
I think this will come in handy in understanding the stones, and of course,
Definitely.
the students can always practice their cursive a little bit. And they got a good coin for their trouble, so don't worry.
Make sure they know, penmanship counts. I'll tell you what, I will reach in my pouch and I will pull out, I'm a little flush right now. I'm going to pull out 10 gold and give it to him as a dedication to the church.
Oh, thank you, Master Vincent.
In exchange for the work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This will go straight to the mother in her eternal struggle.
Yeah, amen. Whatever you got going on. Cool. Thank you.
Yes, well. So it is that time. If you all are ready to leave, that is what I have for you. And the caravan should be leaving soon so that it is not too late by the time you leave the city.
Sounds good.
Will they tax a dog?
You should keep your dog hidden. He will be considered most precious down here.
Ah,
I know many who would pay a pretty penny to see him in the fighting rings,
all right.
as terrible as it would be. So, is he well trained? We have a muzzle here.
Ah, he don't need no muzzle. I could talk to him.
Of course. Wild. You are both wild, I see.
Wild boys.
And so Joffrey thanks you all, and Eric, he thanks you especially for taking on this burden, and then says that he hopes to see you soon. It is his plan to travel closer to the surface, although he is not sure if he'll ever return above ground.
Do you guys think that I should maybe turn Kingston invisible instead?
Well, I was planning to have him hide with me so I could calm him down a bit and we can keep hidden with the bronze people. If you're not confident in your ability to be smuggled out of a city, you can go invisible.
I can. I'm plenty confident with talking my way out of whatever situation we get into. I'm pretty good at that. I've been doing it most of my life. I was only saying we can go invisible to make it a little bit easier, but I didn't think about Kingston. And if Kingston is going to be an issue to get out of the city, then maybe it would be better to hide him, and we can talk our way out. Or if you want to sneak through as well, I'm just putting the offers out there. I can turn exactly one creature invisible, whomever it may be.
I think it might be a little confusing for Kingston for him to suddenly be invisible. I don't know if he could comprehend that. Or
I figured you could explain it to him.
I can explain it to him, but the fact that he'll get it is different. I mean, I can try if you want.
Fair point.
It's fine. I'm just putting it out there.
I used to speak with animals, and I go to Kingston. I'm like, hey, Kingston, got a question for you. First of all, how do you prefer in getting out of this place? Do you feel like you would be better in a cart with me hidden, or would you like some magic to be cast on you to make you invisible?
I like to walk, Kingston says, but I can protect you too.
Well, it would be in the cart for a while, so I don't know if you would start getting antsy or wanting to get out for a bit. Probably an hour at most.
So invisibility will last how long for Kingston?
An hour.
Invisibility lasts an hour.
Kingston's pretty tired too from being locked up in the dungeon. So Kingston's down either way. It's up to you, Silverado.
I'd say we let Kingston get a rest in. He'll hide in a cart with me, and you can use.
Kingston jumps into the cart with all the warriors, and he sniffs them a little bit aggressively. And or I wouldn't call them warriors, but they're studying the art of war and studying the military, physicality, martial arts. So these are able-bodied young men, and Kingston jumps in there, sniffs them aggressively, and then finds a place at the back of that wagon.
Okay. I'm going to walk alongside the wagon, sort of not directly with it, just in the area with it. And then when we get about 20 minutes out from 15, 20 minutes from the gates, I want to dip away somewhere where I can be unseen, turn invisible, and then catch back up with the cart and just keep pace with it.
Okay. Does anybody have anything that they want to do before leaving the Temple of Therazessa?
Did we ever really ask Joffrey about Dunlop? I don't think we really did.
No, we were going to show him the letter.
Yeah.
Talk about
We
that.
probably should do that, yeah.
Maybe, do you mind? I'll Vincent, do you mind if I talk to Joffrey about this?
Yeah, that's fine. As long as you don't.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's cool. So, as Joffrey's about to step away, I'll just say, there's one thing that seems really odd to us, and I'll hold up. I'll hand him the letter that we received. This letter was sent to Orgood by Dunlop, from what I can gather. And it looks like Dunlop is working with, or was working with Orgood, well, all knowingly, because we suspected that maybe he didn't know. Like, we knew he made the hammer, but we didn't know if he knew what he was really doing. So it sounds like he's fully aware of what's going on. And we just don't know what to do with that.
Let's see here. And as Joffrey reads over the letter, he says, well, Dunlop has always been very ambitious, and, well, it has brought him to great places, but I feel that he is overshooting here a little bit. This seems like terrible news. It seems like he has some sort of ill intent for this power he seeks.
Yeah. He's probably not going to be too happy to see his hammer in my hands, or on my hip at least.
Yes, well, the public consensus is that Dunlop and Orgood are estranged, so I am most confused to see them working together, but these are strange times.
Right. Okay.
He says there is no denying that the settlement that Dunlop has established is under duress and will fall. So perhaps this is his way of saving it.
I never thought of that. This is his he's kind of playing ball with them just to save his own skin, so to speak.
I don't know, but he has many investments in the region. He owns practically half the mountain, so.
And would you consider him an honest man?
I would not consider him an honest man. I would call him ambitious and loyal, but not honest.
Okay. Well, thank you. I won't take any more of your time, Jopper. You've been very good to us, and I'm happy to continue in your service. I'm gonna think on this while we're traveling to what was it? The city of Second Silver?
Yes, and I must tell you that I am still thinking about the line of questioning that Vincent led us down the other day, and I'm quite sure he has one of the Chaos Stones with him. Now, I must tell you, please pay attention. If he goes to install this stone in a realm altar, make sure that the 3 sigils used are from the power trio. Therazessa, Dunsmere, and Brahms, and no others.
And just remind me, I feel like you told me that you found this hammer that I wield could also destroy one of these stones?
It seems not as though it could destroy it, but rather that it could harvest it or mine it very effectively without breaking.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. Another one, not necessarily this one, but then others.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him. But I think he's all right. I think his intentions are good.
Yes, well, we can only hope so.
I get a good vibe from these guys.
Well, very good, Master Eric. And I hope that we will see each other again someday.
Likewise, Brother Joffrey. And again, thank you so much for your hospitality and your candor with us.
Very good, Brother Eric. And so these wagons are, pretty full, but there is enough room for each of you to have a seat in there if you wish. Or, Vincent, will you be traveling outside of the wagon on the way to the exit of the city? Got about 2
yes.
hours across town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before.
Yeah, and I'm gonna travel with the wagon, like I said, not like directly with them, kind of lingering back a little bit. I don't know if anybody's gonna notice that. I don't want anybody to notice that I'm with them when we try to go through the gate and I'm not there.
Right.
Gotcha.
You don't want to see that. Oh, hey, you're -1.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
While we're waiting for Eric to come back, I take the ruby that I've had and I chip away at it and get some shards. And I use it as a head for the next necklace. And I make the body out of amethyst to make it look like kind of like an imp, but I haven't looked at one long enough to know what they look like just from memory. So I make what I think is like close to an imp with the same method, like piecemealing it together, and then I use the shards of ruby that I had for the red tip of the tail.
Ah.
And I string it up, and then I hand it to Vincent. Like, there you go.
Hey, not bad. Hey, Rolo, look, it's you.
It's you, Rolo.
That's me. Yeah.
It's
Hey,
you,
Rolo.
but more handsome.
You're cool, Rolo.
Vincent with the jokes.
It's what I do.
So, Silverado, when you get in the cart, you actually see a familiar face, and it's the student that you had played that joke on.
Oh, okay. I sit down next to Kingston.
Silverado.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you heard, but something really weird happened to my bunk, and I think it might have been related to the way that I basically saved your life.
Saved my life?
Yeah, remember you owe me a life debt. I think I need to hold you to that.
Oh, yeah, that. Well, the funny thing about that is that...
Here's that conversation and just slowly starts to distance from the cart.
So, with the life debt thing, I know what you must have seen there by your bed was like a little disturbing, I must imagine. Were you able to light the match and put it in the water and have it still be on fire?
No, that didn't work. No. Is this some strange custom? Because, I'm a little bit concerned, but, I'll be here with you. So if anything happens, just, call to me and I'll be over here in just a second. Okay?
I don't think that's how I think I owe you and you don't owe me.
Wait, okay, so if anything goes down, I'll call you.
I'll probably come either way, life debt or not. But just remember, if you do call upon the life debt, later on, sometime in the future, I was very iffy with the details when I took the pact. There will be some demonic entity that will come and talk to you in your dreams for like a little bit, not a huge amount of time, but for a little bit, and then you'll start developing visions of stuff that's going to happen. So you might not always like them. Keep that in mind. You might not always like them.
Okay,
but you
might be crazy. So
that's the life debt. You
Yeah.
can't make it a life debt without it being like not that powerful. Like stuff's gonna happen if you call upon it.
He seems very confused as to what the actual stakes are here that are involved.
Look.
So as you guys go to leave the city, there's some Dwergar on duty here, and there's actually a lot of people lined up with different wagons or carts, hand carts, waiting to leave the city here. And you have a small group of these Dwergar just going about the different carts, asking to see people's lists of goods, and just telling them it'll be just a little bit before they can get the roadway cleared up, and then people can be on their way again. And then they come up to your cart, Eric and Vincent. I'm assuming that you're invisible at this point in time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. And
Just staying out of the way.
Vincent, will you make me a stealth check, please, on the on Roll20 here?
Sure. Do I get advantage for being invisible?
Yes.
Oh no.
Okay, so I rolled a 3 and an 8.
Okay. So this dwarf.
That's not good.
This Dwergar walks up to you, Eric. Well then, where are you going?
Yeah, sorry. And I'll apply. So we have some. We were given paperwork Friday by Brother Joffrey. We're heading off to the city of the Second Silver.
Oh, Brother Joffrey, yeah, he's
Yeah,
giving
and
us some
I'll
goods
make
to
sure
City
my
of Second Silver, huh?
I'll make sure I pull my hair, my holy symbol of Thayer's out, so it's hanging fully in front of my chest, so it's very plainly visible.
He raises an eyebrow. And what might your name be? I haven't seen you around.
Oh, my name is Eric. Eric
Master
Earlstad.
Eric.
Yes,
And you said you're headed to Second Silver here.
that's correct.
You got some books and some furniture here.
That's right.
You got anything that might fit me in a sweater, though, you know?
Just a side note: is this the person I'm supposed to give the tax money to?
This may be that person. Tax
So,
was used as kind of a loose term.
Right. So the smaller of the two bags that Joffrey gave me, I think this was something that you might have been looking for as well, and I'll hand them. It's probably maybe it's in a couple of bags. I'll hand it to him.
So you hand him the 400 gold?
You hand him the 400 gold, yeah.
Well, looks like we're all good here, and yeah, we got to get these guys through so they can clean up the mess ahead. Everybody, please, let's pull over to the side here. And he gets a couple of his fellow Dwergar to start moving different carts and groups of people off to the side so that
Nice.
you all
jump the
can
line.
leave the city here.
Nice. And are we supposed to expect a similar welcoming party when we get there? Where we're going?
The way that Brother Joffrey explained it, when you get to Second Silver, it'll be kind of like a branch in the tunnel. At that point, the other party will kind of go on their way. And you should get there about, I think he said it was about a day's travel. And then
Right.
They
we won't be going with them. We'll be branching off at that point.
Yeah, I suspect so, if you guys were planning on continuing to the surface.
Right. Cool.
And then, Vincent, as you're walking along behind this cart here, you actually bump into this Dwergar accidentally as you're trying to be stealthy and invisible here. It's very crowded. Somehow, these crowds of people just worked you up close to where Eric was. And the guard looks around behind him for a moment, but doesn't really see you. And you're able to get by them all if you stick close to the cart here.
I'm gonna bump into him and just go, oh, sorry, and just keep walking, like without missing a step.
He just kind of looks around, and it's really just so busy that he wouldn't be any of the wiser.
Love it.
So
I noticed that he didn't notice, and so just for fun, as I'm walking out, I walk by one of the other guards, and I give him one of the taps on the opposite shoulder on the way out.
he looks over. Yeah, just kind of looking around. Checks his satchel at his side to make sure he hasn't been shoplifted or stolen from. Not shoplifted.
Oh, I should have grabbed the bag. Dang.
Come on, man. You always have to steal.
So as you all leave the city, you are going to the main artery of Dalaran Caillou. Dalaran Caillou is the name of the mountain, It is also the city, this large city, the principal city beneath the mountain is called Dalaran Kayu Hokur. So that's where you guys are leaving from. And now this large tunnel that's used for trade routes or travel, mining, this tunnel is carved from the granite of the Dalaran Kayu mountain. This vast tunnel of immaculate craftsmanship spans from the surface to the principal underground city of Dalaran Kayu Hokur. The tunnel is a spiral. It starts at the peak of Dalaran Kayu and spirals downwards into the heart of the mountain. The tunnels were a collaborative effort between Brahms and Therazessa, branching from the main artery or roads and veins that lead to various parts of the mountain. Near the peak, the riches have been pulled from the ground. Once lucrative mining towns are mere trading posts. Nearer to Dalaran Kayu, there are still lucrative mining towns, although the best mines are accessed from within the city, or deeper still. Now, many people are seeking to leave the city. Villages and communities below Dalaran Kayu have been flooded and are war-torn. People are leaving as they're able to, with various underground villages or mining communities as their destination. So there aren't a lot of people traveling all the way to the surface, but there are a lot of people trying to leave the city. Most of these people are not equipped for travel. Or not very well equipped, I should say.
Well, good smuggling operation. We got through.
So as we're traveling along, I guess we were hoping to get some rest at this point, weren't we, on this part of the travel?
Yeah, sleep in the back of a cart.
Yeah.
The ground is well paved. The cavern is about, ranges between 70 to 100 feet wide.
Cool. I will keep my armor on, but I will try and get some sleep.
Okay. How about you, Vincent?
Yeah, once we're clear of the checkpoint, then I'll drop my invisibility and probably hop into the cart and take a little break as well.
I look over to Kingston and I try to see if he's like asleep or not. If he's still tired or if he's rested up.
Kingston's out sleeping.
All right, I'll leave him be then.
He drools a little bit and looks like he's smiling.
I give him a good pet. I look over to the student I pranked, and I'll pull out my deck of cards. I was like, "Hey, you want to play some cards?"
I'm good though. Yeah.
Oh, you don't? No
I'm
gambling to pass the time.
Yeah, I'm good right now. See what's up later, okay?
Oh, okay. Hey, what's your name, by the way?
Atticus.
Atticus.
Yeah. Call me Atticus.
Can I make an insight to see if he's lying?
Sure.
I feel like he's lying. Let's see. 7. That's
Can feel however you like.
All right, Atticus.
And so this young man doesn't seem very interested in talking to you for whatever reason, Silverado. He seems a little weirded out.
Why would that be?
And with that, we're going to go to intermission here, and then we'll be back, and the story will continue. Welcome back, everybody, to the Heroes Era. And we're continuing here as the heroes are leaving the underground city of Dalaran Kayu. And it seems like Silverado forgot his thieves' tools at some point. Something like that. Lost them.
I think I cheated and just put them down there as I just had them.
Okay. You did find some surgical tools last session, but that's not the same thing.
I know.
Okay.
I can't do surgery. I can try and learn.
So either way, we're finding things we didn't even know we had. And Vincent, I wanted to ask you too, because Rollo gave you a magical item, and did you take him at his word that it had been empty? You seemed a little bit suspicious of that. That's why I ask.
The sack?
Yeah.
Did he say that it was empty?
He said that it had been empty when he found it.
Okay. No. Okay. No. I remember this now. It's not that I didn't believe him.
Mm-hmm.
It's that with those types of bags or sacks or anything, if you just open them and look in them,
Oh, so just
they
like
appear
a double,
empty.
So just like a double checking then.
Like if you open a bag of holding and look inside it, it looks empty. But if you reach in and you think I want to pull out 20 gold and there's 20 gold in there, then you can pull it out. But
No. You're missing. I think you're missing his words. It's empty now. But was it empty when he found it?
I'm sorry. I thought you had caught on to that when he said it. This is why I brought it up again.
Yeah.
So, but if not, my big mouth, my mistake.
oh, okay. Well,
I understand now.
here we are.
I didn't clue in until you said it just now, Ben. That's hilarious.
That's okay. You know what?
It wasn't
Roller
a
needs to get paid.
game-breaking thing that happened. It was just 2 small gems. Yeah, no, I think I lied. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that off the sheet now. I am not proficient with this. Get out of here.
Darn. Would have come in handy too.
Boom, done. Yes.
And
Unless
Vincent,
I
where
find
is
it.
Rollo at this point in time? Your imp familiar.
He is around. He's invisible. He stays invisible most of the time when we're out in public. So he's just kind of staying out of the way and checking things out, just hanging out.
Okay, sounds.
I
good.
check in with him periodically, like with my link. Just like, hey, you good?
That makes
And,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So, as you
Okay,
guys finish up your rest on the travel here, you're still journeying to Second Silver. Now it's time for everybody to wake up. Silverado, you can have risen before everybody if you like.
Of course.
So then there's not a lot to do because you all will be traveling on these carts, but there are some interesting topics at hand here. You had been, chiefly would be this Chaos Stone and the origins or intents of it. And then, maybe the concept there is, there are multiple powers within it struggling, and that, who sent for it, and all these things.
Well, I've kind of, on this journey, I've started reading through the documents that they gave me at the temple, the scrolls, and I haven't gotten through all of it yet. But I have noticed there's a lot of interesting things, and I've been sort of sharing with the with the guys on our way, just sort of about the history of the stones, that they are the drops of primordial. Is that
Girabolshgroza.
Girabolshgroza? Okay, the Titan Girabolshgroza's drops of blood, basically, are what form these stones. And I got to find, there was something real interesting because I was reading through this a little bit on our break. So basically, if you take one of these stones and you have it blessed by a cleric or a deity, such as this one was, and if it's installed in an altar, then the power of that deity covers the land. So that's basically what their function is. So if Dunlop has an altar or access to an altar, and he wants this stone blessed by the mother, then that would basically place her blessing across the land, right? So that's a good thing, right?
I have no problem with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I mean he's going about it through less than clean cut means, but
Right.
maybe the ends justify, and it's just a lucky stroke that we came in contact with it and were able to bring it to him, bypassing all that horrible stuff. It could be one of them miracles.
Right. Maybe the problem before. Maybe the problem was that part of why Orgud wanted to get his hands on it. Maybe he wanted to have it blessed by another deity.
Maybe that's why he was trying to get it channeled through him.
Yeah. So, what I get a sense now, having knowing what Vincent just read, and what I felt when I examined it, I felt some other entity kind of fighting with the power that Therizessa has over it.
Yes.
Do I get suspect that is this Girabosh Groza? Is it that?
I'm not sure, but it does seem perhaps
Would make
concerning
sense.
because while in these stories that were passed along to you guys, it does mention shared power, and then it also mentions conflicting powers.
And I guess the other side of the coin is, when things are transcribed, things can be lost. Do we feel pretty confident that this? I don't even know how we would know that this is actually an accurate representation of the history of these stones, or is it just someone's guess or
this knowledge,
something else entirely?
Because this knowledge in these stories was passed to you by Joffrey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with all due respect, these documents came from your temple.
Yeah, you're right.
So you tell me, are they reliable? I mean, legitimately, are they reliable?
Yeah, they must be. They gotta be.
Okay.
I should be ashamed of myself for doubting them. I know, but I just, it's always got to be safe.
It's a reasonable question to ask. I get it, but and listen, not every place has the most reliable records, and there's no shame in that if that's the case. It's just now's the time to really own up to that if it is. But if you're saying they're legit, then I believe you.
Yeah, I mean, they're as legit as anything else they could be, right? We don't have anything else to go on, I guess. So this is probably our best bet.
Legit or not, it's their only source. Yeah. Maybe we don't have something different if we get to the point that we ask them.
As I'm saying this, Eric just kind of closed his eyes and it's like, "Forgive me, Mother, for doubting."
And actually, it's interesting because as you say that, you hear what sounds like perhaps an explosion, the clamor of steel hitting each other. It's a very dim sound. It sounds distant, but it also sounds as though it's coming from Vincent's side, and it fades very, very quickly. Eric, you hear this chiefly. Silverado, you also catch the sound of this, although it is a bit harder for you to discern the source. Eric, you're almost certain it seems like it almost came from next to you, but it sounded very, very distant, very far away.
I'm looking around. I don't see any debris or dust or rocks rolling or crumbling or.
No, so far the tunnels are pretty neatly kept. They're just large pillars every 20 feet, and there are fireplaces between every other opening between pillars to keep the place lit and warm.
What happens if you harvest the Chaos Stone? What do you get out of that? And what happens to the Chaos Stone afterwards? I guess I ask. Well, anyone that would know,
it seems based on the stories here at hand, as you guys are kind of like doing some reading here and there, it seems like it's a kind of a raw energy of sorts that can be put to various ends, depending on like the power of the being that is enchanting it and then their intent.
It sounds like they can be, bent towards good or evil or somewhere in the middle, depending on who's doing it.
Silverado, if your question is what happens to you if you find one, the answer is, depending on how unscrupulous you're willing to be,
don't look at it.
Be very rich.
No, I'm asking what happens if we hit it with the hammer? What happens to the stone?
Well, I think from what I understand, the hammer can actually.
It can destroy it, right?
I'm not sure that it can destroy it, but it could harvest it perfectly, if that makes any sense to you.
Harvest what? The energy?
So harvest meaning that these stones are embedded in the ground, but the hammer can withdraw the actual stones, like in almost like a perfect way.
So it's a gathering tool.
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Don't
get me wrong; it can also destroy the hell out of rocks.
Break it down, it's kind of like Minecraft.
So do you guys want to hit it with the hammer?
Hiya.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
only because it's got Therizessa's touch on it. I mean, I'm reluctant to.
No, I'm a little curious,
because
it's that big red button.
Oh yes, we should hit it with the hammer. Deathit is here, I imagine.
Oh, you think so? Go for the hammer.
Deathit gets it.
All right. Let's hit a very powerful artifact and we'll have no idea what happens.
And remind me, Joffrey said that told me that I should be mindful if anyone tries to put this stone into an altar.
Yes, he gave you the specific glyphs to identify before placing it into an altar. One of these tales explains how basically like a demigod who was a high cleric of Rispatung changed the altar that one of these was installed into, and it kind of changed the power even further than how it being just blessed by an evil god. The Eater figured out how to create a ritual using different deities of evil and chaos while implementing the power of the Chaos Stone. Basically, so that it was kind of like a more unhinged version of it.
The altar amplifies the power, maybe to a point where it's unstable too, and we have no idea what happens if we use the glyphs for the wrong god.
I guess it would depend on what glyphs you're using.
Well, man, this is something, isn't it? This is just like three guys who have no idea what they're doing, holding the button for a nuclear bomb and just trying to figure out what they do with it. Well, I say that we keep going, keep an eye on it. Make sure that it stays in that pack, that no one touches it or channels energy through it. And when we get there, see if it's safe to put it in the altar. And when it's safe to put it in the altar, we use the good glyphs for Therizessa and hope that something good happens. And not something bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we got right now.
That's the game plan, guys.
That's it.
Then maybe afterwards, if that works out well, we go for the other one in the river.
Yeah. Then we just go have a pint and wait for this all to blow over.
Yeah. Probably a couple more steps, but the end game.
Yeah.
Very good.
Speaking of which, Vincent, come over here. I want to show you something in private. I got a little something.
Okay.
I got a little something. A little something that you've never seen before.
Sure. Why not?
When he comes over to me and I make sure that no one's eavesdropping or looking in on our conversation, I pull out my journal that I've been keeping to a blank page. There's nothing on there, so it looks like as if we're pointing to something. And I just kind of like whisper to him, like, kind of concerned that your passenger is in that stone a little bit. And I'm not sure if the altar is a good idea. So, because what I was thinking is that maybe we smash it with the hammer and the energy goes away and we can re-bless it.
I'm sorry, Silverado. What had you said at the beginning of your conversation here? You cut out just a little bit. You said that you would think that what?
I think that his dark passenger is in the stone and it's contending with Miss Hopkins' energy. And if we put it in the altar, something bad may happen. Or maybe we use the specific glyphs and it overpowers the dark entity and then the stone is purified or something like that. And if not, we hit it with the hammer and see what happens. And if the energy goes away, like harvesting it, if the energy goes away, we can re-bless it with Miss Hopkins again and go all the way back and try it again. Just a thought.
Okay. I don't think you understand how my relationship with my passenger, as you put it, works. These powers I have are from a random run-in where I was used as a pawn in a silly game between gods. Because of the way that I was utilized and because of, well, you know what I am.
A little bit.
Because of that power that was channeled through me, a piece of it broke off within me. And that's why I'm able to, do the things that I do.
So,
but it's not like with Eric where he's worshiping his god and doing.
It's not a direct connection. It's just a.
No, it was he was here and he's gone.
And he left something behind. And you now have it. Okay, all right.
He went out for a pack of cigarettes and
he never came back.
Yeah.
No? I get you. I understand.
It's so it's a different kind of thing. So, I mean, I guess to be honest with you, I can't guarantee you anything because maybe he is still using me.
Maybe he's hanging around.
But I mean, Eric checked it out though, and he seemed to think it was fine.
Silverado, you suspect there might be more to the situation than Vincent's letting on. I'm not sure if I need to tell you that, but in a game like this where there are various levels. Sometimes I need to drop information of that sort. So you suspect that Vincent might not be sharing all of the information that he has regarding this.
I am pretty insightful, as he is.
That's of course up to you, how to handle that or what to think of that.
Well, Vincent, I believe you. I believe that something has broken off, and that you now hold power over it, and you're growing from that, and using it to your own benefit. But do you know if that using that for your own benefit is still linking you to whatever this thing is? And that's for you to think on. That's for you to go into your mind palace. And
after this happened, I spent years not using what I was able to do, and it didn't seem to lessen or go away. So I don't think there's any tie to that. The fact that I'm able to do more things, the longer I've had these powers, is just, I don't have an instruction manual. I'm discovering things new every day. So, it doesn't, I don't think it works that way. But again, maybe it does. Like I said, I can't say for sure. I don't know of anything happening. But I don't know what any of this is. So you know.
Can I make an insight check on that? See if I believe him.
You can. Usually we, don't do rolling against player, but in a situation like this, Vincent's privy to information that you guys aren't. So I think it's fair to have an insight versus a deception roll.
Well, it's not going to be hard to beat because I got an 8. Yeah, all right, I believe you.
And of course, I'm trusting the players to be able to resolve the situation in such a way that, the game.
Yeah, no metagaming.
But yeah, exactly. So I think there's actually information that players don't know what am I trying to say? The players who, I think Vincent is literally the only one with certain information. I don't think the players watch the back episodes. I don't know. That's what I think. Otherwise,
the parts that I've walked away and haven't seen.
And that's good because I think it'll provide for something intriguing. But as is coming to light here, it does seem as though there is more than what Vincent is letting on regarding the Chaos Stone.
Well, I put a hand on his shoulder and I say, well, your life, your weird relationship, or God that left you, whatever's going on. I have no clue. That's for you.
Neither do I.
Well, I'll tell you what. You ever need a blood ritual, or you need to sacrifice somebody, or something along the lines of that, come to me. I'll help you.
Okay. It hasn't come up yet, but if it does, I'll let you know.
Oh, for sure. I won't want to miss out on that. And I go back to the cart and I pull out my deck of cards and I try to get someone to play with me. I'm getting bored.
I'll come play cards with you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, as you all are,
we don't have to RP that. We'll just assume that happens.
As you all are starting your card game, Vincent, you have a seat. Eric, you're at hand, and you hear the shout.
Step away for 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay. Eric, you hear the shout of a female voice, as if crying out in pain. And again, it seems to come from close at hand. It seems to actually come from near Vincent's side, where he keeps the Chaos Stone.
Do I hear it this time?
You do, Silverado.
Weird demonic stuff.
And as this woman cries out in pain, you feel a pain shoot across the back of your eye, Eric.
That's a little concerning.
So, is it because I got the sense that there was another entity inside the stone. Do I get the sense maybe that the mother is in some sort of battle of wills with whatever else was inside?
That would be safe to say, or safe to assume, or deduce.
When I hear this, if I pull up the hammer, is there any sort of connection that I feel between them?
Will you make an Arcana check, please?
Sure, yeah.
Silverado is getting a little concerned that he keeps hearing voices that no one else is seeming to hear.
I have 11 for my Arcana.
These are two separate magical entities. They don't seem to be intrinsic with each other.
Something I was going to ask just while Chris is away. While they were having their chat, could I have been reading that scroll?
Yeah,
that Joffrey gave me.
The scroll that he gave you about the
for maybe enchanting something else in the future. Just do you remember the other one that he gave me?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I thought I might just read that. without by reading it, I wouldn't necessarily release any of the magic in it, or is it more just like a blueprint or
It would be like a
a
blueprint for how to
formula?
conduct the ritual. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
formula.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and actually, as you're looking over that, one of the young men that is traveling, who is from the Church of Brahms, comes and kind of peers over your side and says, "Hey, that looks pretty interesting there. Mind if I take a look too?"
Can I just see if is he does he look like a guy's gonna try and steal it from me, or just what he just
No,
is,
no.
is curious?
Yeah, as you know, that people who worship or revere Brahms are typically interested
Like
in
smiths, right?
craftsmanship or
Okay.
military things. So
Yeah. I mean, I might be able to learn something from him about it too. Yeah.
says, "Oh, I know my way around the forge a little bit. This looks like some really interesting stuff. What are you trying to do here?"
Well, what I want to do is I'd like to make I want to make a pick to line up to match up with this hammer that I have.
Oh yeah, what's this hammer all about? What does this thing do? Super powerful.
It's got some quirks. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'll just he can kind of see if I kind of hold up the head of it, he can see there's a it's got Dunsmuir, there's Essa and Brahms emblazoned on the head of it.
Oh, that's a beautiful piece. Do you know who the smith was?
I believe it was actually Dunlop.
Oh, Dunlop. Wow, yeah. He's a fine craftsman. I've studied a lot of his works. I see some holes in his game, but overall, pretty solid, pretty solid. I've just been studying some of his finer pieces and looking for ways to improve, but yeah, wow, this hammer here looks like one of his best works yet. Wondering what you're planning on doing with this thing.
The hammer?
Yeah.
Right now it's keeping me alive, man.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I hope the mother is watching after you as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is her magic on that thing?
I believe it is, yeah.
Oh, interesting, yeah. I've never been able to craft a magical weapon, but, I've come pretty close, and you're talking about a pick that you're interested in?
That's going to be my next, yep.
Wow, sounds like you have some ideas here.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what we're running out of down here so far below the earth,
Ideas.
Things get pretty drab. Yeah, ideas. I'm looking for something a little bit more inspiring than the line of work that I've fallen into down here. Mostly just making spades and picks for the mine, so... Huh.
Have you, forgive me for a sec here.
Yeah, no problem. Is it all right if I take a look at this hammer more closely?
Same motives, eh? Yeah, I think so.
He kind of weighs it. Wow, really nice. Oh, a little bit of a strange balance at the same time, but seems like it was with intent.
See, he's a he's a follower of Brahms.
Yes, a devotee of Brahms. Yes.
So he would be able to, the magic would flow. It would work for him.
Right. Yes, because the magic of this hammer is effective for, what did we say, Brahms and Theresessa, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, for him, he's not a cleric, so it might still feel a little off balance to him, but he understands what's at work here.
Cool.
So, yeah,
I'm sorry.
really
This man, the students there, they're Durgar as well, or they're.
This is a human.
Oh, okay, human.
Yeah. Some within the temple were Dwergar because it's so heavily populated by Dwergar, and not all the Dwergar in the world of Gira are evil. They do tend evil, but there are those family lines who have broken free from that curse. But again, yeah, this is a human, and yeah, he seems most interested in having this conversation, and starts to just talk with you a little bit about how this tunnel that you guys are in was also a joint effort between Theresessa and Brahms, and that he really enjoys when those two, specifically from the power trio, work together. He says
Alright.
they're almost as powerful without Dunsmears with him, though. Don't mark me for saying that, please.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, but I'm sure they are. As much as it seems that, I'm sure they are far greater with him than without him.
Well, I'll take that under consideration, Brother Eric.
There's always power in numbers, right? I mean,
Ah, yes.
me and my companions are far greater together than we would be apart individually.
Yes, and it appears that it is taking the whole lot of us to travel to Second Silver, and indeed, it appears as though we will be more safer in a larger company as this.
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't catch this guy's name. Or does he have a name?
Yes, he does. His name is Picard.
Nice. Well, Brother Picard, if you are out and about and you find yourself, at a port or somewhere close to the coast, I would encourage you to seek out my teacher. His name is Dane Serpentsbane, and he actually is the captain of the Sea Forge. That's where I learned how to wield my work an anvil, and he actually helped me. I'll pull out my non-magical pickaxe that I use. He helped me fashion this. I mean, and I'll hand it to him. It's nothing fantastic, nothing to write home about, but it gets the job done. So if you're looking for other, for other avenues and other ways, way of doing things, I'd encourage you to seek him out.
He lifts the pick. Oh, this is a fine piece, well balanced, not bad. How long have you been at the smith at the forge? Pardon.
I was only with Dane. I think it was just over almost 4 years. I was with him at sea.
Ah, well, not bad. Me, I've been working on my craft for, about 14 decades.
Yeah.
I have made many picks such as these. This one would do a miner well, and it is enough to be proud of for sure.
Awesome.
And he hands it back to you.
Cool. It was really nice. It was really nice chatting with you.
Yes, likewise. You have piqued my interest, and I'm going to go do a bit of studying. Perhaps we can talk more later.
Sure. I'll put the scroll back in the case and put it away in my back.
Very good, very good.
Cool.
And so with that, Vincent, when you stepped away, there had been another noise from within the Chaos Stone, but this one sent a pain shooting through Eric's head. And Silverado and Eric both heard the scream of a woman come from your side.
So, Vincent, I think there's some sort of battle going on right now inside this stone, and I fear that the mother is losing this battle. I'm inclined to see what happens when this hammer meets it.
Hit it with the hammer.
What? Well,
let's hit it with the hammer.
I said the hammer thing. I said that like that was a joke. Like, you know that, right?
Hit it with the hammer.
I didn't mean.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think it's serious though.
Actually. But that just seems like, what if it destroys it? You know. Like, is that really? I just don't. That just seems risky.
Seems like a reasonable thought.
Hey, we know where another one is. All right, we can go get another one.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
my hammer is
one.
Well,
my hammer has been touched by Therazessa, and she's clearly has a touch on this stone, and something else has a grasp on it.
Let's hammer the power of God into this.
So I feel like, Therazessa plus Therazessa versus whatever else is in there. Maybe she'll be left behind, and we'll be able to destroy whatever it is that's combating her. That's my thinking.
You think if I focus on the stone, I could put some Fey energy in there and make it worse? Just a question.
Interesting thought.
You definitely get sucked into it, probably.
Silverado, that is a crazy thought.
Look, all right.
We're already going to be smashing it with this hammer, and you want to damn it with some Fey curse? Definitely seems quite taken aback.
I'm a Fey man, all right? I gotta be unpredictable.
I'm gonna. sit there and kind
what
of.
do you think about hitting it? With the
Sorry,
hammer?
go ahead. What do I think about hitting it?
No. Deathida.
Oh, hitting it with the hammer. Well, I don't know. It seems like it might be worth a shot.
Well, let's get Thragnown for this. I'm sure he's going to want to see this. Not just be like, hey, Thragnown, we broke the stone while you were gone.
I
It
mean,
seemed like it might be most dangerous. Perhaps we should all stand back as one person does it. I don't know.
I want to do it, but it's probably better if Eric does it.
Well, I don't mind. I'll take the hammer.
I'll take the hammer. I want to do
If you recall,
Guys,
Deathida just loves playing with the hammer because...
Hang on, though. I was sworn to protect this thing.
How about you hit it with the hammer?
Hit it with a hammer.
But the power in this hammer allows you to harness and harvest the stone. So I feel like I can focus the energy of the hammer, and in hitting it, I'll actually be able to maybe separate it into the piece with Sarazessa and the piece with whatever it's combating her.
You're definitely the correct choice to hit the stone with. You're definitely the person to hit the stone with. But what's the fun thing to do with this hammer? Who's the funnest person to hit the stone? It's me or Deathida. Which one?
Are you saying you want to be paler?
Look, I'm already going down this road, all right? I might as well see where it ends.
Well, what is the matter, Vincent? Do you really think it will destroy the stone?
I just worry that it might.
Yes, and then all of our work and every sacrifice we have made could be for naught.
And we possibly know where another one's at, but that means we got to go get it.
There is
We got to
nothing
go all
in
the way
these-
back to the farm, get it blessed again, bring it all the way back out here.
We might not be alive to find out, okay? We might all die instantly, and it'll be okay.
Sometimes you must use the tools that you have.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna, now that I've kind of gotten on this one thinking, I'm gonna kind of close my eyes and focus in on what I heard last time and see if I can get a better sense on what is actually maybe going on inside the stone. Now that I kind of, I've kind of been catching these little glimpses of whatever's coming out of it. Now I'm going to actually actively try and see if I can attune and find out what's going on.
Okay, will you make a religion check, please?
Ooh.
Okay, Kingston. You want to get close to the orb as it breaks. You might get some magic from it. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we all need magical powers. Okay, you're up next.
So Eric is trying to focus in on
I rolled
this chaos
2.
stone.
I rolled 2, so that just didn't. Not able to get what I'm trying to get out of it.
Yeah, as you try to meditate here and come closer to whatever is happening, you just see flashes of lightning and you feel pain. That is all.
Look, man. Sometimes you just gotta have faith.
Okay.
If you won't need to find out more, you'd probably have to look at it at this point.
I'm gonna
right on.
Hit it with the hammer.
Okay.
Hit it with the hammer.
And then
I'm
there's
gonna take the satchel that has the stone in it. I'm gonna take it off.
So at this point, we need to stop the cart, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll pull over. Are we we're not around anyone or anything, are we?
Everyone stand back.
No, you're able to travel a little bit faster than most groups, and at this point in time, you're mostly alone in this long stretch of a tunnel. Alone, for your party is alone, yes.
Okay. I'll move over, take it over to the side. And is there a big rock somewhere over there?
Thragnown, I think we're going to break the stone, Deathida yells.
Yo, Thragnown, come over here.
Thragnown comes hobbling over. There are absolutely rocks or stones at hand.
Yeah. You're basically trying to make a makeshift table, right?
Yeah, if there's a big boulder type of thing, I'm gonna go and set the stone, set the chaos orb on that. And as I said on there, there's nobody right immediately around me, is there?
Well, Thragnown and Deathida seem most interested, and they're starting to come around very near.
Okay.
And what is
assuming
the
that they're not close? Assuming they're not close enough to hear me, as I set this down, I'm just gonna very quietly whisper under my breath. I'm just gonna say, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it. And we'll let it go, and I'll walk away and just be like, you guys do what you want to do, but I'm going a reasonable distance away.
So right now, is it wrapped in something? Like what I'm thinking is I would like cover it in some sort of linen or something, just so I'm not looking directly at it.
in a
Cool.
satchel.
All right, Eric, I'm gonna get out and get myself stretched out and prepared.
Should we take it out of the satchel?
I just keep walking. I don't stop walking.
Oh no!
Oh, there he is.
Did our pictures just switch?
Yeah, let me switch the pictures real quick. Sorry, just take a moment.
Don't be sorry. And then so I'm gonna go in. I got 2 hands on this hammer that I'm gonna be using, and I'm gonna cast.
You guys are making me nervous.
I'm walking away.
Hey, Death Day, you think it's gonna crack
Am
open?
I gonna die again? Oh. All right, let's hope not.
I might taking bets in the back. Like, do you think it's gonna crack? Do you think it's gonna stay still?
I'm gonna cast protection from good and evil on myself, just so I don't get possessed or anything. If I do release anything from this thing,
okay. I give you guidance.
I'm still walking.
Okay. And Silverado, what are you watching?
I'm giving him guidance, and I'm a little bit away, but
But you want to see what happens.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not.
Is this like a car wreck? You shouldn't stare, but you can't look away.
Eric, so you have the magical hammer that you found in Orgud, the Perfectionist's cavern. It had been enchanted through fell means, but you had those evil enchantments removed, and now it possesses the power and strength of Brahms and Therizessa, especially when wielded by a cleric of one of those deities. Yes. So you lay out the satchel containing this chaos stone before you. Vincent, not fully on board with this idea, walking away, anticipating whatever chaos may come of this. And Eric, you raise this hammer above your head, and I assume we're going through with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
I don't
going
like
back
the way he's questioning that.
I just want to make sure before we pull the trigger here.
From what I understand, I can actually focus and specifically mine a stone as well. So I could almost extract or separate, or what I'm trying to do is I think there's some sort of
thought is sound. I understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
you're trying to separate, use the hammer as kind of an instrument to separate what you think is another entity that is conflicting with Therizessa.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if I die from that, I'm okay. At least I'm okay going down that way.
Okay. Well, you raise the hammer and swing it with ease because it is well balanced in your hand.
Two-handed.
Two-handed.
Yeah. All or nothing.
And it comes smashing down on the satchel, and the stone seems to flex and absorb it for a moment, and then the hammer is repelled. And just as suddenly as the hammer is repelled, there's an explosion, and before you, the rock seems to grow, and you see a storm roiling within a large orb that suddenly expands. Within the orb, as you watch Silverado and Eric, you can see a figure atop a mountain peak. The figure looks like Mrs. Hawkins. Her hands are raised as if she is in the middle of a ritual, and the sky above her is raining blood, and there's a demonic figure before her, kneeled, looking up to her, and the demonic figure it actually looks familiar to you. You've seen it somewhere before. Silverado. Eric, you have not. Silverado, you recognize this demonic figure as being the wizard that was with Orgud that disappeared with Vincent and the orb. If you recall, when during the session where Xander fell, Orgud appeared with essentially, his prodigy or whatnot at his side, and the Minotaur had delivered Vincent to this demonic creature. Then this demonic creature had disappeared with Vincent, And now you glimpse that same figure therein. You recognize him because he's just an immaculate specimen. Looks very strong, healthy, and you would probably recognize this person anywhere, or this being. And so you see this, Eric, you see the same thing, but you just do not recognize this being. And then the storm seems to collapse in on itself and lets out a thunderous boom. And then Silverado and Eric, please make intelligence saving throws.
I'm not good at that. Remember, Eric, you have guidance. No,
I will use. Can I use guidance on the saving throw?
It's an ability
think
check.
so.
I think it's only for ability checks.
All right. Well, am I brain dead?
My intelligence is my
Yes.
worst saving throw.
I hit a 9.
Eric, you have advantage.
Oh. $14, both times.
14 and 14. I'm going to roll for Deathita, and then I'll roll for Thragnown.
Just wanted to point out the -1 beside my intelligence save there.
Oh, you're worse than I am.
Vincent, you hear this explosion, the sound of thunder and lightning fills the cavern. You look back over your shoulder, and Silverado, Eric, Thragnown, and Deathita, who had all gathered around this stone, are no longer there.
Oh, I thought that was going to happen.
Oh, here we go.
The stone is still within the satchel on the ground, but your party is gone. The half, at least, that was there watching what was going down.
Ah, shit.
I didn't even get to leave my
I'm gonna
letters
run
behind.
over. I'm gonna run over to the satchel. I don't see anything. There's no remnants of them whatsoever in the area.
Let's see. Eric, will you make for me a concentration saving throw? Or a concentration check, excuse me.
That's the Constitution, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not on advantage anymore.
It's a con save.
Here you go.
14.
14.
The hammer is there on the ground.
Okay.
Stone.
I'm gonna pick up the hammer. I'm gonna put it in the haversack. I'm going to. Oh man. I'm gonna pick up the satchel. I'm gonna tie it back to my belt. I'm gonna start walking the direction that we were heading out. And I'm probably gonna walk for 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna pull the satchel out and I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna look in the stone.
There it is.
Make for me an intelligence saving throw, please, with advantage.
Can I choose to fail it?
You'll probably, yeah, you can choose to fail it, but what you roll might change what you see before you're taken into the.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
You're about to say you probably fail it.
Intelligence saving throw?
Yes.
With advantage.
With advantage.
17.
Okay. You're actually able to hold your gaze on this orb as you feel it fighting against your mind. And for a moment, you see Mrs. Hawkins atop a mountain peak, and she's doing battle with various demonic figures that assail her from different sides. Chief among them is Valthyr. Valthyr, the Orgud's henchman, also Malkazid's henchman. and here he is before Mrs. Hawkins. Perhaps she had cloned herself or in some way imparted her own entity to be custodian of this chaos orb. And now the different factions within it are vying for power. And Vincent, as you are able to see this unfolding, suddenly the storm takes you and surrounds you, and you feel yourself flying forward as if through the rain, with wind and rain upon your face. Thunder and lightning crashes, and for now, we're going to end the session, and we're going to pick up the story next week as the heroes have found themselves within this chaos stone. Each of you has experienced the similar sensation of flying through the storm, and then we will have more on what you see next week. GG's.
We're never getting to Dunlap's Tavern. We're never getting there.
Hey, we're not dead yet.
We're trying to get there for like 4 sessions in a row, and we're never getting there.
We keep going like this.